What's up, everybody? It's Fimer here, and I'm here to give you the track tune that I was been saying in the last few videos that I was going to give you guys, and I figured I'd give you guys now. I know we just got the update today, which is honestly a shocker to me that we got the update today, because I actually didn't know that there was an update coming until a couple days ago. I just didn't know when we were going to get when we were going to be getting it. But just a quick note: I will be posting another top speed tune next week, more likely for a top speed tune with NOS than a regular top speed tune, because I got another they added another, at least one car that I have so far. They added engine swap for it, so I have that car now to be able to post, and then hopefully either I'll be posting more top speed tunes depending on whether or not if I get the engine swaps, as I said before, because I'm missing quite a few of them now. I'm hoping to grab more of them out of the roulette tickets at this point. It'd be great if we could buy them, because that'd be awesome. I mean, in reality, you should be able to buy the engines. If not, you should be able to buy the engine if you choose to do so. When you buy the car, you should be able to choose to take the engine out, but I don't know if they'll even implement that. But with this track tune, it's an all-around track tune. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna call it, but you guys will see in the title of this video. It's great for pretty much any car that you plan on running on tracks. That's a race car. So it's probably gonna be like a all-around race car or all-around racing tune, which is probably what it's probably gonna be in my mind, because it works just great. I've been running a lot of the sort I'm gonna butcher the name of this track, but Sardinia or Sardinia. I don't know how you actually pronounce that, but I've been running this for a decent while, and this car works out great, and a lot of the other cars I've been running on it work great. Fastest one in my mind to run with that with the race on this track, as you guys will see here, the ranking board is going to be the Porsche, and the ranking board, every single car on that board has this tune. And going straight into it, with this tune, I'm running racing hards to be able to hit the 800 performance points limit to be able to get into the race. But you guys can do whatever you want with the tires and anything like that. But with this car, hands down in my mind, is probably the best Group 3 car in my mind. I know everyone else has their own opinions, like the FT1 and a couple other ones, like the Beetle. That was a really good one in sport, but this one I think is probably better, primarily because if you go by the performance points limit, this has the highest horsepower out of all the Group 3 cars. If you do the BOP, I really don't know, but this one seems to handle the best out of all of them. It's not the lightest one, to my knowledge. That has to go to a couple other cars that are like the older cars, but it's pretty light. It has the highest horsepower, pretty good torque and all that stuff. But with the suspension setup, as you guys are going to see here, and I'm gonna say this right now before I forget. Sorry, this is gonna be a lengthy video. I want to show you guys what this is tune wise for transmission and suspension, because the transmission I don't want to say I kind of worked on it, but I just set it to a specific point and left it, and it works out just fine on a lot of tracks. And I want to at least go out on the tracks to show you guys how it works. And I may be a little bit rusty because I've actually been on the game in about a couple weeks. But with the suspension, the ride height, you want to have 57 on the front and 68 on the rear. So if you're going to another vehicle and it doesn't have this, you just want to have it two on here, it'll be 2 millimeter or millimeters. I think is what it is exactly. I'm not sure, but you want it 2 clicks up from the front. So you want if it what like if you have a 60, you want a 62. As I said before, you want 2 clicks higher than the lowest setting on the front, and you want 3 clicks higher than the lowest setting on the rear. With for the anti-roll bar, I have it 4 and 8, 4 for the front, 8 for the rear. The compression, you want 35 on front and 25 rear. And then for expansion, you want 47 front and 50 rear. For the natural frequency, once again, like with the with the ride height, with the natural frequency or the spring rate, is what I normally try to call it. The spring rate is at 3.20 on the front for this one, for this car at least, and 3.35 for the rear. And as I said before, it's just like the ride height, so you want it pretty much 20 clicks higher than the lowest setting on the front, and it'll be 35 clicks higher above the lowest setting on the rear. So if you're running, a car that has 3.5, you want a 3.85 on the rear, and you want it like 3.7 on the front, or whatever the car has. You want it, as before, you want it 35 clicks higher than this from the highest, not the highest, the lowest setting. You want it 35 clicks above that for the rear, and you want it 20 clicks above the lowest setting on the front. And then for the camber, you want 1.5 in the front and 1.7 in the rear to give you a little bit more stability going through the turns, so that way your car doesn't really kick out. There's a couple of cars, primarily the Group 1 cars, that have this tune. Some of them will kick out if you just hit the gas right off the bat when you're starting to come out of the turn. So for me, I've gotten used to that. So if you guys don't like that, you guys can readjust the differential, as you guys will see here that I'm going to be getting to here soon. I do have a little bit of toe because, again, this is a track tune. So I have 0.05 out on the front and 0.10 on the rear. So it's pretty much just half of what the original settings is, just to make sure you can actually get a better top speed or not top speed exactly, but a better acceleration in the straights, but while also giving you a little bit of stability in the turns. For the differential, I'm rocking at 45 on the torque, 40 on the acceleration, and 25 on the braking. I don't want the braking too much because you might. Yeah, I don't think you can lock out the brakes, but I just don't want to hit the brakes so hard that the braking line is too close to the turn and I just go into the wall. And then for acceleration, I think that's just fine. And then torque, you want enough torque to be able to accelerate through the turns with a good speed. For the downforce, you want it for this setup. It's gonna be different for all the other setups, but I'm not gonna be going through all of them. I'm just giving you guys this one, and you guys can readjust as you see fit. For this one, for the downforce, I have it all the way down on the front and all the way up in the rear. It seems to give it like a good enough balance for which I think is odd, but it gives it a balance to where you have good straight line speed and acceleration, but you also get to keep your stability in the turn. You won't be able to get a whole lot of turning through like small turns when you're going at higher speeds, but you'll at the lower speeds you'll be able to have more stability. And then going over to the transmission, of course, fully customizable racing transmission. All I did was I took the top speed and brought it up to 430, and that's pretty much what I did for a lot of the cars. Some of the cars couldn't get to the 430, or I don't say couldn't get to the 430, but some of the cars are slightly different on their transmissions. So what I try to do is try to get into a fourth gear and then have fifth gear, because I think just having this small enough gears, but not all gears, but small enough gears to where you can actually get through the gears decently fast, but also be able to stick in like first or possibly second gear throughout a lot of turns is good in my mind. That's why sixth gear, not really running it. I mean, in a top speed, you probably be able to hit sixth gear if you just took downforce all the way down. But for this one, and this is what I kind of try to go for a lot of the other cars, because as I said before, transmissions are all different. Fourth gear is what I try to go for, and I try to go for about 295 to 300 kilometers per hour on the fourth gear. So the fourth gear is always going to be different on the leftmost number, but the rightmost number I always try to go as close as I could to 300. And then fifth gear, as I said before, I didn't touch any of the gears, but the fifth gear just happened to be at 354, which I think is just fine. But yeah, hopefully you guys got that all taken, taken care of, written it down, put it on your tune while you're watching this on phone or whatever you guys do normally, and how to the track to show you how well it does. With racing hards, it actually does quite good in my mind. As before, it's been a little while since I've ran on this, but it'll come back to me pretty quickly. You can go through this turn. Okay, never mind about that. The only thing I think of at this point now that I look at it, I think the wind is affecting my speed, and your wind is, and the wind on there, on the actual race, won't actually affect you a whole lot, especially in the speeds. But the wind does mess with what I'm doing right now. So the fact that as I said before, I'm sorry if I'm repeating this a lot, but the fact that I'm kind of rusty, I'm doing this. You guys will be able to see how well this actually works the way you guys run it. I'm pretty aggressive. But the only thing I think of honestly that they may have done in the update is they may have made it to where this has a higher top speed for some reason, which I don't think would be the case, but you never know. But I'm always kind of gentle with the acceleration anyway, coming out of the turns, just to be safe. You guys should be fine when you're doing this for any other tracks too, because this should work on every other track, at least to my knowledge. When I did it, it worked out pretty well. I did on, I think it was on Monza, I think it was, or the Paramount, I think it's Paramount Monza or something along those lines. But sadly with the wind, I wouldn't say my time exactly right now, but my speed is being affected, because normally I don't break right at that when I broke right there, but the wind is kind of affecting my speed going through these turns a little bit, so they will be, my time would alter a decent amount from doing this. So I wouldn't say do exactly what I'm doing with how I'm going through the turns and all that stuff, because everyone has their own racing line. But in my mind, it handles very well, especially with the racing hards on it. And as I said before, with the horsepower that it has really good acceleration. In my mind, it actually may have probably the best acceleration in my mind, possibly. I mean, it's gonna be it may have a better acceleration than most of the other Group 3 cars, but that's just my opinion in my mind. But yeah, I guess I'll be cutting it for the video now. So if you guys are liking this, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see any other different types of tunes that I normally don't do. So I know I do a lot of top speed tunes and stuff like that, and if it's something a little different, I'm okay with doing it. So if you guys want to see something different, let me know, and I'll do a post of it on it. As I said before, early in the video, I will be doing a top speed tune next week, and then hopefully after that I can actually post a couple of races for you guys, because I've been doing a couple of racing online, so So, yeah. And also subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys in the next video.